in a little closer because it's trash pickup day. But up in the front, there's lots of zinnias. I knew eventually they'd fill in because we dropped so many seed heads last year. My Brad's Atomic Grape is producing so much I'm leaving them in there for the birds, honestly, at this point, which is fine because they leave the ones in the back alone. Volunteer sunflower so big that I had friends at small group taking selfies with it, which was amazing. The new front bed has still not been mulched, and a couple of things in it have now been mowed over by my sweet husband, who's doing his best to deal with my mess in the front yard. So hopefully mulch this week. We'll see. I don't know, opposite keyhole beds. I'm not sure what you'd call these. They're doing great. The asparagus is up. The flowers there, the little ones that are not blooming yet, I think are dianthus would be my guess. The candy stripe zinnias are a big hit. And then on the end, the hazelnut actually does have some growth coming out at the bottom, so that's good because the other one does in the back as well. So I can put the other one behind it somewhere in that border so they can cross-pollinate and hopefully have hazelnuts, I guess in a few years, I'm not sure. Same on this side, little dwarf raspberry plant. It's the bushel and berry kind. They're supposed to go in pots, but I figured a low-growing thing in the front might be nice to have the layers of low-growing raspberry and then the wispy asparagus that you can just barely see. There it is. And then the mulberry tree that I just pruned up with strawberries around the bottom. These are supposed to be black-eyed Susans or Rudbeckia, but I'm guessing it's a variety that's like a brown-eyed Susan maybe. But they are, I started with this one and it was small in a pot, and then I separated it here and here last fall maybe, and they're doing great. So this is my favorite wildflower, I think, from the wildflower mix from Haas Tools. I don't know what it is. It is beautiful though. The bronze fennel from the plant sale is flowering. There are figs. Oh, there's morning glory too. There are figs all over the fig tree. I keep cutting back those canna lilies, and at this point they are just chop and drop mulch for me because I just have too many of them because they're canna lilies. So in my tower planters from Aldi, nasturtiums and basil, some muncher cucumbers, I've got some peppers that I planted later in the season. Lots of flowers in this one. I wanted this one to be flowers and herbs, and then peppers, which is, I actually kind of stuck to it. This is my canna lily. I need to straighten it up and water it. This is my canna lily that a friend, all right buddy, friend brought me back seeds, which I had never started canna lily from seed before. I'd only started it from the corms or bulbs. But this came from Hawaii because she has family there. Shout out to Mary Beth. This is hyssop, and then the giant African marigolds. More hyssop that still needs to be planted somewhere. That is white horehound, so another herb. It's a medicinal one. This is Siam Queen basil. It's kind of a spicy basil. This is more hops. I forgot I'd planted that in here, but there it is. This is the jigsaw pepper from Baker Creek Seeds. I love the leaves already. It's an ornamental pepper. I don't normally grow ornamental things because I think that's dumb, but man is it pretty. This is the fish hot pepper. I might actually like this one more because the peppers are variegated. More basil. This is anise or anise or however you say it. So I guess at some point that'll flower. This chia is struggle busing, but every time I water it, it comes back. So that is like collards or cabbage or something that is held on from over the winter. I just haven't had the heart to move it. It's catching all the bugs. Morning Glory is also trying to eat my coffee plant that I have cumin in there with. Just started another round of seeds to add. My dog is supposed to be finishing her breakfast and not leaving it there to attract bugs. We'll see how she does. So this bed, I just pruned up the peach tree because it's done fruiting for the year. So now I'd like to work on getting it shaped how I want. I want a semi-typical, you can walk under it and pick fruit tree. Cosmos. I've never actually grown cosmos myself. I've started the seeds and given the plants away before because my dad really likes them. So I grow them for him, but I love them now. So I'm going to grow them for me too now. The bee balm has taken off once I got it in the ground. Very happy with its life. This is swamp mallow, so that's beautiful but also medicinal and should come back every year. We'll see. There's a lot mixed in here. It's mostly weeded, but these weeds right here, they're called something. I mean, of course, all weeds are called something, but there's something that some pollinators like, so I leave some, but then, of course, you have their whole family. So the grass corn looking stuff is sorghum, the sugar drip sorghum. So I'm curious to see if that is actually sweet. That'd be amazing if I could make a sweetener because I'm already growing stevia. That's basil. This is the mulberry that my friend Valerie gave to me, I think. And then black hollyhock. I've just been sticking those in everywhere. That is a bushel and berry blueberry plant in there mixed in. I might move some of them because they are so small. I'm impressed with how small they're staying. I might move some of them into pots actually. We'll see. This is the mulberry. If the other one is the one from my friend, this one is the one that I started from a cutting from my aunt's house. So neither have fruited yet. So the mystery will be solved when they fruit, like most things. My other fig now has figs on it finally. This bed has gotten kind of overgrown, but a lot of it is actually flowering things or things on purpose. So I'm in that awkward spot where you're waiting for things to flower. And right now it just looks like a mess of green, or things are spent like the gladiolus. And so, or waiting on a poor sad sunflower to not look so sad so that I can have the seeds. Elephant ears are clearly happy with their life. It's another giant marigold. That must be another cosmo that I planted. I threw in a few things from a tray that I started. Mums do so well right there. I don't know what it is. That is a hardy hibiscus that I was gifted from a friend, just dug it up and sent it home with me from under theirs. So apparently it'll sprout more babies and I can give those away. That's the Nanking cherry. Its twin is over here. Not twin, obviously, because it's a year younger. But this one did so well and bloomed that I thought, okay, good, I will go ahead and buy another one so that it can produce fruit. But it was pretty with the blooms regardless. I've got mint tucked in everywhere because why not? These are coming back and I hesitate to pull them. I think blue mist flower is like the common name for them, but they are really beneficial to some pollinator that overwinters in them, and so I hesitate to totally pull them up. I've got a peony in here. Ignore the pot full of grass. I'm just growing grass for fun apparently. That is sage, and it has bounced back from being moved. Really, there's mine. There she goes. She didn't knock me down though. Zinnias are everywhere because that's what they do. Let's see. This rose. This is a wild rose. I don't need to come out here before my husband sees this and cut it back because it's trying to eat the air conditioner because it's wild. I have a few pokeberries that I'm leaving because they're interesting and some of the animals like them, and if I can distract them from the stuff I want with stuff that I can't eat, it'd be great. So this has gotten overgrown again. We're trying to stay on top of it. This is the elderberry, and it's way too tall to harvest. I'm gonna have to come out here with a ladder. But that means there's enough for my whole small group. Rosemary. This is a fall gold raspberry. So I'm not sure if it'll bear the first year. I'm really curious. I have one on the other side of the house as well. There's the train. More rosemary. This is what everybody has been excited about at small group, is the eucalyptus. Walking by and rubbing your hands on the rosemary and then the eucalyptus is the best smell. And then the cucamelons. Hopefully by next year, instead of cucamelons, this will be established as the hardy kiwi, because I have it climbing up right here. That bloom is from a hosta, not the kiwi. And I have this one climbing along the fence. I'm trying So we'll see. Sorry, I'm trying to do things one-handed and my dog is very impatient to get in this gate. Happy hydrangea, always, thank goodness. The ferns have bounced back. We were supposed to go get more, and man, it has been a busy time. So rhubarb is happy, so I can grow rhubarb, that's good. Just pruned back this rose real heavy. There's another mulberry. That one, a bird left me under my original one, so I moved it, and it's doing great. Another pokeberry that I may or may not leave. This is my volunteer pumpkin patch that seems to be mostly for the slugs. The pond area, I have some potted things across there. Those are all the dwarf banana trees, and it's some grass, but it's a lot of something called, I think, lady's slipper, some kind of it is a weed, but I've also seen it for sale at big box stores. So it's a weed that you can buy. But that's my Japanese maple. That was a gift for the Friends of the Arboretum. I do have a little fig tree in there that I'm probably now going to have to move. This is something that is native to Texas. Maybe Turkish cap is the name of it. I got it at a plant sale last year. I thought both had died, and they've both come back. So that's good. All right, back garden. Lots of volunteers, lots of volunteers. I don't know when the last time I shot one of these was, but I found myself wanting to reference the last one yesterday, and it made me realize, ooh, I haven't done another one of these, and they're really helping me out a lot, actually, to keep track of everything. So, stevia is doing well. Cucumbers, these are starting to yellow, so I'm going to leave those on there. Same with those ahead of me. I'm going to leave those on there to try to save seed. I've never saved seed from cucumber because I've never been able to leave them on the vine long enough. So this is the year. That is lamb's quarter. That is a weed. Through there in the cinder block is pineapple. Oh, what is it called? Something pineapple. It's the toothache plant. Spilanthes. And then strawberries and lemongrass, which bounced back. I was very pleased. So my dream was for this to just be full of herbs, and apparently the Siam Queen basil just doesn't bush like other things. So for now, I have added some peppers in there. Let's see what they are. These are the brown jalapenos from Baker Creek that I got because they're bigger than a regular jalapeno. And my husband in his work has gone to Texas and had Texas Twinkies and wanted to see if I could recreate them at home. So I got on the internet one night and tried to find the biggest jalapeno that was in stock because it was the wrong time of year to be buying seeds, but I found those. We'll see how they do. Marigolds are everywhere and I love it. Zinnias are everywhere and I leave those. When the flowers volunteer, if they're not in the way making something sick, I leave it. A lot of things are sick. A lot of this has not, I had envisioned it coming up across the arch because last year I had tomatoes that were so tall an arch would have been helpful. And this year they're taking their time and we'll see. So the cucumbers are doing it on a couple of trellises, so that's fine. Last year I got no cucumbers, I'll take it. And I've planted a second round of tomatoes that were still waiting in the little pots over there from where I started seeds, so maybe they'll take off. There's another cucumber that I'm trying to leave. We've had a lot of cucumbers, so I'm good to leave some. And in the seeds up front that I showed you, that has cucumbers in it as well. So all the volunteers on that side, including that spaghetti squash that you can kind of see in the grass over there. I keep going over there and flipping it and making sure nothing is getting on it. This is really happy and has not shown any signs of blooming. So I don't know what it is. Could be a cucumber, could be a melon or pumpkin of some kind. Its leaves are kind of pointy like a cucumber, but it's huge for a cucumber vine. So we'll see, we will find out. This is the giant African marigold that I keep pointing out. It's some seeds that my mom gave me, and of course some of them needed to be deadheaded on Saturday for small group, which meant a lot more of the seeds went home with my friends. they're great to plant. I wanted them in between the tomatoes because they are as tall as the trellises. So I put up shade cloth yesterday in this one spot to see if it would help, because it was just easy. This is, I might have to move it because of this. This is my loofah. Also not blooming, also not doing a thing. It's growing. I won't say it's not doing anything. It's growing. But this is the spot that I needed to go back, watch an old video to see what tomato is which, because I'm starting to save seeds. And I don't remember. That one's about ready. Look at that guy. More Brads. Got those. I thought I had only saved myself a couple, and it turns out I had saved myself quite a few. Tomatillos are so happy. They want to trip me when I walk by. This is a blue Hubbard squash, and I'm not sure how close it is. It is starting to look blue, and the stem looks like it's starting to get sick, so I might have to pick it and see if it'll ripen some inside, because I do want to save that. That's a zucchini that's hanging on. It quit fruiting, but it is starting to bloom again, so I'm just going to see. I'm going to see if I can get a plant to last the whole season. I do have zucchini seeds started for another round of those as well. There's a pepper in there that has to be from last year, so we'll see what kind of pepper that is. It'd be really nice if it was a bell pepper, because I feel like I might have given all those away. This is all tomatillos and ground cherries. Yep, that's about it. This is my asparagus spot in the early spring, and so I need to cut that back. There's a raspberry that's shot up from over there at the fence that I will probably either dig up and move or dig up and give to one of the girls in my small group. White bachelor's buttons. I always grow the blue ones, but this year I bought a bunch of white flowers as well, because I'd like to have more neutral and less loud if I could. My garden has gotten very loud in the front. This is the lime envy zinnias. So they've stayed pretty sick. I don't know about those guys. Lots of weeds, lots and lots of weeds. This is okra. I'm pretty sure it's Clemson spineless. It was doing nothing until I came and dumped all this bunny poop. And now it has shot up several inches, so I might get okra. We'll see. I thought for sure I had just messed it up and it was stunted and wouldn't catch up. But we still got like 110 days or so in the growing season. I'm getting covered in mosquitoes. So this is salvia, strawberries, St. John's wort that's spilling everywhere, which I don't actually mind. It's kind of a living mulch. And then valerian in the middle there. Some kind of pumpkin taken over. I planted it in the bed with my blueberries, thinking I could let it sprawl between the blueberries, and it chose to go this way instead. And I don't need to walk right there, so that's okay. So right now there's some kind of pumpkin there. I think it's I hope it's a sugar pie pumpkin. I would love to grow a pumpkin and make a pie with it. I've only done that one time. So this guy is, all the flowers are dying back because they've had their show. This, some kind of pumpkin. It could be a Burgess buttercup, or it could be one of the pie pumpkins. So it does look like it's turning orange. It's hanging on the trellis, and the vine is kept going, so maybe I'll get another one. It'll be legit. This is the candy stripe zinnia. It's really pretty. The ones up front have even more striping on their leaves. It's just a really unique thing to walk by in a garden. The Brendas are up and happy to be alive. Right, girls? No, they're mad to not be fed. They're not happy to be alive. Hartman's yellow gooseberry, which I have everywhere, and to the point that I have its own freezer bag in the freezer designated for that one, so that I can try to do an all yellow tomatoed something. Sauce or salsa or something like that. I think that'd be fun since I have so many yellow tomatoes. This turned out to be a cayenne pepper plant. I don't know how I have so many cayenne pepper plants, but I do. I'm gonna make some hot sauce and some dried red pepper, crushed red pepper or whatever. Not sure yet what kind of tomato this is. I may have said it when I planted it because I put it in there with the tag, which is why I need to go back and watch that other one, and why I'm shooting this one, because it really does help. The rabbits have to have this ghetto tarp situation because we're doing that southern thing where in the summer you have thunderstorms every afternoon. But these are my very sweet fertilizer makers. So, these are the chicks that I hatched. They are ready with their mama. She hatched a good chunk of them as well. This is a very makeshift setup for them because the purpose of them was to go to a friend's farm to put in a chicken tractor to run behind his cows that I'm helping with, and we have yet to build that chicken tractor. So here they are, just peeping away. This space I have totally pretended did not exist. We moved the trampoline back here, obviously. That was a fun thing. Should have filmed that. That would have been a good thing to have forever to go back and watch. All the things I planted on purpose are still there and doing good. My main concern is the hydrangeas that I've planted here, and so they're doing good, I'm good. Trying to avoid stepping on pine cones or rocks or whatever. That's all pokeberry back there. I'm okay with that. I threw a few tomatoes in, knowing that that's what these white stakes, if you see those, there's tomatoes there. Knowing that they probably wouldn't do anything because it's too shady back here. And it looks like I was right. They're not dead. They're getting watered. They're growing the green, but they just cannot bloom and fruit without the amount of sun they need. So that's why even if it didn't freeze in the winter here, I could not keep growing tomatoes because there wouldn't be enough sun. So there's my lilac check. That guy, he won't die, but that's about all he's doing, and I'm wondering if it's too shady there and I need to move it. But also lilacs are a northern thing, so I feel like it would cook in the sun. That's Billy. I think Billy might be my favorite. She is so sweet. And then these two have to stay together. Fudge and Pom Pom. They're both boys, so we won't get any babies, but they just bonded their siblings and do not like being apart. So we leave them there to hang out. This tomato is actually pretty happy. I didn't know if it would be too shaded right here. And blooming, so we'll see if we get something. There's lemon balm in there, really happy, which is good, because in my other spot, the lemon balm is just, it's not dead, but it's not doing anything. So I have tried to wrap wisteria that grows here. I keep trying to pull it up and it won't come up. So instead I tried wrapping it over my archway here, and that doesn't seem to be working either. But the greenbrier is happy to climb on the arch. It's never what you want it to be, is it? It's never the thing that you want that works well. But the clematis is staying alive right there. So hopefully it'll take off next year. These are sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes. I have some in this more shaded spot, and I have some, they're hard to see up there when we were walking through in a sunnier spot. These make really good, I don't know that we'll ever eat these. You can't eat the roots, and they're like really creamy parsnip type situations. And they spread really easily, so it's like a very aggressive source of food if you needed that. But apparently drying them, cutting the stems and drying them makes great rabbit feed for the winter. So I'm gonna do that. And then this little spot here, my lemon tree hasn't died and has put off new branches, so I'm gonna call it a win. My sweet potatoes in the corner there are still growing. When they were back in the backyard here, I was having deer come through and eat them, and I'm not right here. So great, I'll grow them in a pot on the driveway. Basil, the big green leaves are actually tobacco that I got the seeds. I got a pack of seeds from someone in a YouTube chat, and then a pack of seeds from, I think, Southern Exposure seed exchange. For many years, you couldn't buy tobacco seeds because it was a commodity crop. So I was truthfully just kind of curious. I've heard that there are like medicinal ways to use it. There's a guy in my small group that now thinks it would be really fun to try to roll up cigars. I don't smoke, but it might be worth like throwing in the fire pit or something to help keep mosquitoes away, because I do know that my father-in-law used to smoke when he hunted to keep mosquitoes away. So even if that's literally all I grow it for, I'll keep growing it, because it is pretty. It is like big, almost like a hosta that you can grow in the sun, which was my thought. If I liked them, is that they would be like hostas, something green that I could grow, but not just in shade. So that's about it. That didn't take very long at all. This is mid-July, and we've got several more months before everything is done. Like I said, I'm starting a third round of seeds now, and we'll see how much food we can get out of this little space.